There's nothing better than feeling good on another day, a gloomy day, a snowy day, a rainy day, whatever that day is. One there's life, there is hope, and there is a brighter future. Good evening, welcome wherever you are to the 51st edition of the Issues Room. The Issues Room is the alternative media platform here in cyberspace, covering events coming out of Liberia, our origin of where we began, the black diaspora, the African continent, and anywhere we have issues trending in the black communities. We want to welcome you wherever you are to this 51st edition here, coming your way from the US of A. Our time is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. And if you are in the Greenwich Mean Time Zone, which is midnight tonight, or wherever you are, depending on your time zone. Those of you in Australia, I know there's a time difference. Those of you in Asia, those of you in other places on the continent of Africa, in Europe, here in these Americas, and also South America and Antarctica, Iceland, Greenland, and all those places who say, welcome to the Issues Room. My name is Volcano Shelton. Let me join my colleagues who is out there in the Delaware, Newcastle area. Good evening, Moses. Welcome. You're in your Issues Room. Hootie, you took me by surprise, and so I didn't come prepared, but good to have you.
It's not as good to come with surprises. But it's good to be back after another week in the issues room. Look, time moves so fast for Canada. We're talking about what, 51st production.
Yeah.
You see how far we have come. But let me start off by saying welcome to our many viewers out there, our people in Liberia, Europe, and other parts of the world. I want to welcome you to this broadcast today. Again, we have come to discuss those contemporary issues that make the news of the day in Liberia. It's a pleasure being here, Volcano. I'm very elated being a
And
part
this
of this
evening,
team.
we come in the Issues Room with a degree of uncertainty, and the reason I say that is because as we speak, the people of Ukraine are under
Yeah.
fire. The
Hmm.
country is being invaded by the neighbor Russia.
Yeah.
The world is gathering resources. There public outcry of condemnation on the actions of President Vladimir Putin, and we just want to remember those folks out there. Moses, you and I know what it means to have an eternal
Oh
civil
yeah.
war, but to have an invasion, which we have not experienced.
Experience. Yeah.
But even with our internal civil war, it was not
Deadly.
ordinary
Hmm. Very deadly. So
because we
many
were
things
running
happen.
from place to place, always displaced, looking for food, looking for shelter. I wouldn't even use the word looking for comfort, but looking for safety. And,
Safety.
and and I saw a lot of folks moving from their homes who didn't even have a dream that they would be waking up to going into the train stations, to serve as bunko, because these guys are indiscriminately throwing missiles all over the place.
Hmm.
What a shame! What a shame in this 21st century, and this is scary.
Very scary. You know, when you experience war, Volcano, when you are in crisis, you and I saw that the little things that we take for granted, they become so valuable. Just the issue of safety. When you are constantly on the go, you're not sure where you're going to spend the night. That can be very scary. Food, things that we take for granted. Food. You know how we struggle in Liberia when we our country went to civil war for 14 years, moving from one location to another. We ate everything we could lay hand on because food became what scarce, you know.
But
So
the other
I
part of
I,
the
I sympathize with the people of Ukraine.
The other part to that is not just the food, but just the congestion, the sanitation piece.
Yeah.
Imagine those folks in that in that subway. Sooner or later, those bathrooms will run out of cleanliness, and the whole place will be chaotic. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, and the stench and all of that will pervade the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, if any of you there in our viewer land, please come on so we know that we're broadcasting live. No one has acknowledged the broadcast yet. Please let us know. Come in the chat room, let us know we're live, because technology has a way of fooling people. So
You
please,
think
if
that
any one
you're
of you, our viewers out there, can just come in and just let us know that you're here and that you're viewing, we appreciate it. Thank you, Victor Logan. Thanks. Welcome to the show.
and since we started on the situation in Ukraine, the invasion by the Soviet Union or Russia, and I just like to report that the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Information, has condemned the invasion, and the Liberian government has called for international peace. So we hope that this situation can be brought to an end. You know.
And
Mhm.
that's good. That's good. That's good. At least, Liberia has been a part of all of the formation of world peace body order. Put it, the League of Nations, the African Union. Today used to be the
Mhm.
Organization of African Unity,
Mhm. The
and
United
the United
Nations.
Nations.
Mhm.
So it's good that President Weah can acknowledge his role, uh, in terms of being a member of the Committee of Nation, and to you know call for peace
Peace.
to that
Yeah.
nation.
Mhm.
But it's sad. But Moses,
Very
tonight
sad.
we have three things we wanted to talk about. Last
Yeah,
week we
but
covered,
the training issue.
this was the training issue.
There
What's the
was-
training?
there was-
You got something? No, if you got something,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Something quickly I just want to
Okay,
throw in.
go ahead.
And the training story from Liberia has to do with the bicentennial, the huge investment made into the centennial, the expenditure by the Liberian government. It is being speculated, it's being reported out there that the government spent $3 million United States dollars for the hosting of the bicentennial. And the report emanating from Liberia suggests that the way funds were handled, the process was marred by malfeasance. Our colleague, who is the Minister of Information, Ledger Rennie, chaired the committee on the bicentennial. And so there are reports that the committee made a lot of expenditures without appropriate documentation, even though Minister Rennie has challenged this. But there are people who believe that, the Liberian government should come clean on this. Now, Volcano, for example, the government claimed to have used 200,000 United States dollars for the printing of t-shirts. You use $200,000 to print t-shirts for a bicentennial. Your hospitals don't have medications. The government also claimed to have used 100,000 United States dollars for the renting of the stage. You saw the stage that P Square performed on at the SKD. I mean, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around that. But again, I don't want to come across, or we don't want to come across as accusing anybody. We just want Minister Rennie and his people to come clean on this. If they can
I
just
think the fear
if
here
they can publish the contracts and stuff like that, that would be helpful.
I
Mhm.
think the fear here, Moses, is that sometimes when these things happen, there's no degree of accountability, and so people tend to do what they want to do. In the
Yeah.
first place, why would you want to rent a stage for $100,000 when you can buy and build your own stage?
Be your own
Then
stage.
you can put it away right in the stadium there. Find a place, build a nice
Yeah.
warehouse. The stadium still has a piece of land back there, and put stuff there. And when you need it, you use it.
You bring it right up.
Same thing our former colleague Devedo went and
Yeah.
rented.
Thermometers.
thermometer in
Hmm.
the spike tune of almost 10 grand when she could have bought it for even $3,000. What is
Yes.
this thing about renting? Okay,
Yeah.
so if somebody take the stuff to rent, should they just extravagantly charge for it?
Yeah.
And if you see that this person is exploiting through renting, why don't you just compare apples to orange and purchase
Yeah.
and buy for yourself? I'd rather buy for that's why
Buy for yourself, keep it that you can use in the future when you need it.
yeah, and especially with Liberia, there's a lot of things that happening like public, you know, uh gathering and stuff. You would need that stage
Of course, you're gonna need it.
for other things, the independence, the next what you would consider inauguration and all of that. But okay, let's
And
not
and
dwell on
and
that
and
and
and, and,
let's
and quickly, what I want to say is that the report is that most of the expenditures, the contracts that were awarded to individuals, did not go through the Public Procurement Commission. And this is an entity that was established by government to ensure that contractors are vetted, contracts are vetted, and make sure that everything was handled, professionally. But again, Minister Rennie has a lot of explanation to do on this. Let's leave it at that.
So James Conyer, no one accused Ledger Hood Renning for overspending and blah blah blah. What is being said here is that it's the reports coming in from
The
other
report.
media outlets, and all we can do is just regurgitate it for those of our viewers and listeners who don't know what is trending out of Liberia. That's what we said, trending news coming out of Liberia. So no one is accusing Ledger Hood, but we also think that if those things are actually true, then some things were done wrong by
Yeah.
not, providing the
The
documents that
paperwork,
show
the
how this money was
documentation.
being
Yeah.
spent
Yeah.
and account for them. James Koyan, you are an accountant. You are in the finance business, or
Yeah.
Koyan rather. So you know what it means for record keeping. And
Of
especially
course.
when it's public money, taxpayers' money.
Taxpayers, man.
That's all it is. Nobody's accusing Ledgerhood.
No.
We're just saying that that's what's coming out of Liberia. So sometimes we need to listen and understand from where we speak, because the issues room is not about denigrating character or anything or trying to create a spill. No. When we hear it, we present
We
it,
throw it out there. We just
and we
we
try to.
just report the issues of the day. That's all
But
we do.
in the
Yeah.
same token, we
Mhm.
try to analyze the issue
Yeah.
or whatever that event is and put our spin to it and give our objective opinion. And if these things were
Absolutely.
the fact, then we say yes. The process is for public bidding. The process is for telling us how this money was spent, because it's not coming from Ledger Hood pocket. It's not
It's
coming from George Weah pocket. It's coming from the coffers of the Liberian people. That's all we're saying. And I think it's only honest to say that. And I'm sure my colleague Ledger Hood Rennie knows the truth. And if he agrees with me, who he should agree with me, that is the way to go.
and
Thank
in
you.
fact, let me extend this open invitation to Minister Rennie. If Minister Rennie wants to come in the issues room, we are willing to host Minister Rennie so we can go through the expenditure of the Bicentennial Committee. Let him come and explain to Liberians in the world how much was used, how the money was used, and what was the process that marked the expenditure. These are questions that Legislature has to answer.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, one of the things we want to talk about here tonight, Moses, it has to do with public officials, but particularly those folks in the legislature. The folks that continue to say that they want to justify their salaries because they spend most of their salaries on people who are at their gates every day, begging them, and XYZ. So when these people took the job, they took the job to be able to plan, to create, to implement, to monitor, to supervise, and to execute government's policies, programs, services, and represent their constituents
Right.
within the legislature, within the executive branch, within the judicial branch. They were not put there to be philanthropists, put it that
No,
way.
no,
They
they
were
were
not put
not
there to be the ones taking care of the needy. They
running
were put
schools
there
and
for a
stuff like
purpose.
that. No.
So legislators are members of the legislative branch of government, which is responsible for making laws. and changing existing laws. They are elected by the public to work for the Liberian people. They govern by proposing bills, holding votes, and passing laws. So let's look at their role and how, you know, most of the time there's a conflict.
Yeah, there's a
Most of
conflict there.
them, including officials of government in Liberia, are often overextending themselves by engaging in tax or undertaking projects that conflict with their jobs and duties and responsibilities.
Yeah.
For example, the other day here, under undisclosed condition regarding where the money came from, President Weah recently donated 30 pickups and 150 motorcycles to traditional leaders in Liberia. If this money was put forth through the presidential office, it should be declared the presidential office. And if that money was put through the presidential office, then President Weah's name cannot be on the vehicles
It cannot
as
be
the
donated by the
donator
office.
of the,
It
yes,
cannot be.
because he didn't purchase it out of his pocket. It should
No.
be from the Liberian government to the traditional chiefs. Um, then we look at Monserrato County Senator Sir Joseph in November of 2021. He promised to provide 35 buses to public schools in Liberia. Also, the senator in February of 2020 broke grounds for the construction of a US $1 million mini technical college in District 13 in Monserrato County. The college, according to Senator Joseph, is in fulfillment of his promise or the promise he made to the people of District 13 when he was representative of the district. Again, good gesture,
A good
but we
gesture.
need to know where that money comes
Where
from
the money
because
came
I'm
from.
sure that Sir Joseph could not have been a millionaire by entering the House of Representatives in no time, except he was doing something else. And again, if these people were following what the law calls for, public declaration of your asset, then we will not question some of the integrity behind what they do. Then we have Monserrato County controversial representative, the new karate guy in the house, the new ninja, Yeke Koluba. This week, he presented, he purchased and presented 10 mattresses and 12 bundle of zinc to fire victims in District 10, which he represents within the House of Representatives. Again, good gesture.
Good gesture.
We still want to know if Yeke took his own money because we already know that Yeke is not getting paid. So where
No.
is he getting the money from to do X, Y, Z? Then we have Ms. Josephine Davis, Inspector General of the Commerce Ministry and a CDC stalwart who is currently trying to unseat Yeke Koluba in
Yaka
that very
Kuluba.
district, made
Mhm.
similar uh, material and financial donations to the same fire victims
Victims.
in the district.
Mhm.
Also, what does this tell you? When people do these things, especially public officials, when they're doing these things, because what we know in this country, we have what we call disaster relief program,
Yeah.
and I heard that we have that in Liberia.
Of course,
Uh,
we have a disaster relief agency in Liberia.
so, what
Uh,
is the role of the disaster relief agency, and on what magnitude does the organization come forth to provide support to people who are victim of a particular
yeah.
event? You
Okay.
know,
Yeah. Well, I have not had the opportunity to read the art creating the agency, but I would surmise that agency intervenes when a disaster strikes or when tragedy strikes affecting a large number of people. It's not a Moses Sandy house is on fire and then we'll go running to the agency. But if you have a whole community affected by a fire disaster, then the commission is going to come in and play that role. Now, but when you have lawmakers that are indirectly trying to do the work of the commission, look, let's be clear, Volcano. It is not wrong to help your people, but you don't want to undertake tax. You don't want to get yourself involved in things that will complicate your work. Because for everything you guys are doing in our country, they are setting precedents for unborn generation. So that if Volcano Shelton becomes a cabinet minister tomorrow, he wakes up in the morning, everybody is at his house. Oh, chief, the kids don't have food today. I have not paid my rent. When these things happen, they create financial hardship for public officials, that can lead to what? Dishonest, activities. Because you have too many people coming with too many demands, that makes it real difficult for you to handle all of those demands just on your salary. Let's look at the situation of Yeke Koluba. Representative Koluba is financially struggling in our country. He has not been paid for months. But now here he's trying to maintain his seat. He said, well, I don't know where he got the money from. Again, don't get me wrong. He's a representative. Maybe he got some good saving. He went to a little saving and did this. So tomorrow again, if another group of people come up, what is he going to do? Mrs. Davis, the Inspector General, she's eyeing Yaka's seat in District 13. I mean District 10. She eyeing Yaka's seat. So immediately she heard about Yaka, a donation. What did she do? She ran there too and did similar thing. In fact, I'm told that she gave each of the people, 30,000 Liberian dollars, provided food and other stuff. Hey, Josephine, that's not your responsibility. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad to help, but you're going beyond. And the National Code of Conduct frowns on this. When you work in public offices, there are limitations in terms of gifts that you can take and give, or things that you can give. The National Code of Conduct frowns on that, giving expensive gifts and receiving expensive gifts. So if you have a cabinet minister who is giving $10,000 to a community, then the question that comes, where did that money come from? And what is the political objective of doing that? Let's go to Sir Joseph.
And just since you call his name,
Yeah,
here's the man who's promising to build $1 million
$1 million. How much does he
university,
earn?
but he
How
made a
much does he
promise.
earn? Yeah.
I'm coming. He made a promise that was projected, so
Mhm.
he knew already what was going to happen
Yeah.
for him to get that money.
Mhm.
Because it seemed circumstances how these guys are making money. But to give you the moment to come,
Yeah.
I think that what is significant is that rather than these people trying to justify the salaries, justify what is happening, that the community, the people are at the door, if these guys were spending all the time, the honest time that the taxpayers' money go in the pocket for, to work rather than the nonsense to do, and I use the word nonsense in the fact here is it is the nonsense when
It
they are
is.
arguing
It's a
and
nonsense.
fist
Yeah. Mhm.
fighting to the point where there's noise, no understanding of what they're discussing. If they could utilize that time well to put into laws, bills, concessions, documents that will attract investment, and that they pass those laws and put something there for the communities, then the people in those communities will have employment.
Of
The
course.
people in those communities will have direct benefit
Mhm.
of whatever investment come in those communities. Like the other day, I talked about the Shuffling Township, where these Chinese are banging on the rocks, and every time they use the dynamo, do you know the houses around there, the foundations are crumbling? But what
Yeah.
is left to them when those people are Chinese have taken all that money out of there, almost $100 for one little cubic foot of crushed rocks, and when they make millions and millions of dollars and put few pennies in the pockets of our representative from that area, our senator from that area, then the people are left to nothing.
Yeah.
And what hurts me when we talking these things, Liberians in this very country who are in love with a specific government pretend
Mhm.
like they don't know what are some of the things that are happening here that make the society that you and I enjoy here, the benefits, the amenities, because the people have policies and
And they
legislation,
have a system. They
and
have
they
a
do it
system.
for for the generation to come, but to do it in ways that even if there's kickbacks and stuff, it is so subtle that it's not felt
Yeah.
profoundly
Mhm.
at the detriment of the public. And that is what I hate when Liberians do this stuff. It bothers me.
Yeah.
It bothers me. We're doing everything wrong in that country for 175 years. 175 years. Only a few people can enjoy through corrupt means, and the country remains in degradation, dilapidation. Today we're talking electricity, and we'll come to that. But
Yeah.
you know, but nothing is in that country moving forward. And not to blame
Nothing.
George Weah. This is an
No, it's
age-old
an age
problem.
old problem. Yeah.
But what
It's
hurts
an
me
age
is
old
that when
problem.
you come to power and say, I will make the change, then be the change instrument, Moses. Be
I
the
agree.
change instrument. Do
I
not come
agree.
and take it for business as usual. So let me let you go
Absolutely
inside,
right.
Joseph. But this is what
Yeah,
bothers
yeah,
me.
I agree 100%. And then, like you said, let me just piggyback on what you said. What we need in Liberia is we need a system that will provide job opportunities for our people. Our system that will ensure that hospitals are providing medications, hospitals have trained medical doctors, schools are running effectively. You don't need a lawmaker taking on the responsibility of providing, buses for public schools in Liberia. Then what is the role of the Ministry of Education?
And so
What is the
that's the
role of the Monrovia
perpetuity.
Consolidated System?
That's the scheme of perpetuity for that lawmaker to
For
win
him
seat
to
and win seat and
he
win
wants
seat
to
and win
get
seat. That's all it
reelected.
is. He
So the
wants to
guy
win
is
the seat.
indirectly buying votes. He's indirectly buying votes. And that is wrong. I know most of our people will say, oh, well, the man is trying to help his people. Let him create the system. That's what people need. Volcano, you and I will live here. How many times you ever saw any of our local officials going into communities and say, hey, I will build toilets, I will build schools? The people invest through the system. The system must work for the people. Where is Sir Joseph going to get the US $1 million from to build a mini community college for the people of what District 13? Where? His annual salary is less than $1 million. So where is he going to get his money from? Josephine Davis, you're throwing money here and there. Where the money coming from? Yeke Koluba, where the money coming from? And we are using these people as example. Mr. George, we are just recently. You use money from undisclosed source. Then what becomes of the General Services Agency, GSA? Isn't the responsibility of GSA to provide transportation for our local officials? Where's the Ministry of Internal Affairs for Canada? You want to elaborate?
And you know what bothers me, Moses? The very
Mhm.
people who, you know, shout, yeah, 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 are the very people who go behind in the corner and say, oh, man, I ain't doing nothing, or they just stealing. Why don't you just call a spade a spade?
Yeah.
President We are, I've said this and I will say this and I will remain confident in what I say. I have never known President Weah personally, but I have known him from afar. And for every time we cross paths, this brother, which we
Which
acknowledge him.
are, yeah, yeah.
He's a people guy,
Mhm.
people's person.
Mhm.
Um, and all I could see was a guy who meant well for his people and his country. I used to commentate the national team's game,
Yeah.
and I would hang out with those guys at during the years of Coach
Mhm.
Tijan Wagner, who passed. Um, I see we are come. He would go in his pocket and would transport the
And
team.
you should.
In one instance, I remember when he said that he was not transporting the team if the interim government on the soil didn't, you know, uh, pay his money back. But yet he still took the team to the Ivory Coast. And so all we taught this guy meant well for his people. And Volcano Shelton experiencing that will convince the next person that this is the man really for our country. So
Right.
if he made that statement that I am the instrument of change, then is it not fair to him, or is it fair to the Liberian people to hold him accountable if the very things, the same vices that have kept our country backwards, the same things, lack of accountability, corruption, no action taken, everybody just does what he or she wants to do.
Yeah.
Then we should sit there and fold our hands and say,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, this is business as usual." No,
Mhm.
President Weah has all the time in the world to do other things that are trivial. He has all the same time in the world to hold his people accountable that he put in government. And if that's the only way out, that's the only way out. There's no
I
other way.
agree.
So we can come here and pretend that everything is well, and these people continue to pretend like everything is well. We know that
Yeah,
we are doing some good things, but we know that there are so many things. Even the visitors that just went to Liberia, they
of
mentioned
course.
it. All right,
It
the
did.
representative of Biden who went to the bicentennial,
Yeah,
the
spoke
representative
about,
was very
you
glad
know,
about the
the high
election.
level of dishonesty in the
Yeah.
public sector. Mhm.
So it takes those people to talk for you to believe, or the Liberian people should even talk for themselves. And if the
Yeah,
Liberian people don't talk for themselves, I want to talk as a Liberian for myself, because at some point I want to be able to go to my country where I was born, where my navel string was buried, and gracefully age the rest of my life out of there. But I want to go
yeah,
to a society that is created, enabling enough for my security, the amenities that I have spent all my life savings into putting back in that country, that I can go back home and live quietly and have a peace of mind. And if
yeah.
people are making a mess, we have to talk. We have to tell people you're making a mess. And you can't pretend. President we are his government officials, some of those people, they live overseas, they know what they benefited, they know
No,
how the
no.
system work.
The
So why
system
don't we
works.
apply the same system?
Yeah, they don't care,
We
you
apply the
know.
same system.
So, like you're saying, this is one of those things that breed dishonesty in the public sector. Because if you had everybody coming to you for tuition, then you start telling the controller, okay, look, just give me $100 tomorrow, I'll replace it. The next day is $200. And when you look, they say the man what misappropriated $100,000, and you don't even know how you spend the money because you're
Well, not only
constantly
that, Moses,
talking to the
you
controller.
call in the
Yeah,
Lebanese man to give
yeah,
something, and then when
yes,
the Lebanese man violates the business code and stuff,
yeah,
then
and
you don't
then
hold him accountable,
no, you
because you've
don't.
already compromised the integrity of your
Mhm.
institution. You yourself, as the person who should hold that person accountable. But these are some of the implications here: undue
Yeah.
financial burden on the public officials.
Mm-hmm.
Such conduct, like you said, violates the National Code of Conduct, which frowns on giving and accepting gifts by
Expensive
public
gifts. Yeah,
officials.
yeah,
It contributes to indirect vote buying,
yeah.
also indirectly contributes to malfeasance and corruption in the public sector. But
Absolutely.
let us not dwell on this. We got two more pieces, but let's look
Hmm.
at some of the recommendations that the issues
Yeah,
room
sure.
want to make.
Hmm. Yeah.
The issue room want to say to public officials, this should be a discouraging gesture. Do not do this, because if you're going to do this, we want you to do this in good faith, but come out of your own personal expense, come out of your own pocket and make that declaration, rather than making big what you call
Promises.
it,
Yeah.
contributions and stuff, and giving financial assistance, like Nathaniel McGee were giving what they call scholarships all over the
Yeah,
place the
all over
other
the
day.
place. Yeah, yeah.
Nathaniel McGee the other day didn't have no money. How within
No.
4 years you doing all of this? Let's be
But look,
practical
in
here.
fact, you're
You know?
talking about Nathaniel McGill, to tell you how poor this guy was. I remember in 2017, the man came to Philadelphia to campaign, and we were sitting in the hall. And to tell you that he was, he didn't understand the audience he was talking to. The man asked us in that gathering as to who was in that gathering earning $30,000 a year. And everybody burst into laughter. They said, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. The message he was trying to convey was that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was paying, public officials a lot of money in Liberia. Some people earning $30,000 a year, and he felt that nobody in that audience, in the Philadelphia audience, was earning $30,000 a year. And then the vice president, Joel Howard Taylor, then was with Mr. McGill, and she said to him quietly, and I was very close. She said, my gay, that's small money. That's why the people are laughing at you. So to tell you that this guy was very poor,
So
and to
so
see him walking around here throwing money here and there, it's unfortunate.
So what we want public officials to do is to create systems that work for the people.
Yeah.
It is the
Mhm.
government's responsibility to provide for its citizens, especially the underprivileged.
Right.
We have institutions that take care of the underprivileged. The
Hmm.
churches, civil society come together, but that
Yeah.
burden is on the government to take care of its
Government
people.
responsibility. Yeah.
So the government needs to put in systems, needs to attract investments so that corporations can have social corporate responsibility to its people.
Right.
Then lawmakers should pass bills that will entice direct investment in their constituencies that will directly impact their constituents through employment and services.
Absolutely.
Most
I
always,
agree.
yeah, they must always disclose publicly the sources of their monies and assistance provided to the people in need. These are some of the recommendations that we're making, and we hope it will fall on good soil.
Yeah.
But this has to stop, and it is not justifiable for you to make so much money and claim that it's justifiable because you give back. It is
Yeah.
not justifiable for you to continue to take bribes upfront, asking for signature fee,
Yeah.
asking for this fee, that fee, to the point that the investors walk away and leaving your country in peril. This is not the way to go. For
Yeah.
Liberia to move forward, transparency has to take its course. And I'm hoping one of these days I can talk to my good friend and brother who, when I was working on my doctoral dissertation on corruption,
Hmm.
I had the opportunity to interface with, and we did some very good projects together. Thomas Dona, who is now
Okay.
at the LRA,
Okay.
and his fight as a champion against corruption. I really want to talk to him and see what his candid opinion is about corruption in this government. And
Since he's in government
I,
now,
I will hope that he will be honest with me because
Thomas
he
is
knows
in government
some of
now.
the
His
behind the
perspective will
scenes
be
conversation
different.
we had during the Ellen's time. So
Yeah.
again, but I tell you the truth, these are some of the things that can help reshape the destiny of our country. So
Absolutely.
Moses,
We want a system to work for our people. No lawmaker is richer than Liberia. Sir Joseph, you are not richer than Liberia. You cannot take on the responsibility of the national government. No, you don't have the money for that. Let the institutions get funded. It's the responsibility of government to fund this institution. As a lawmaker, hold the system accountable. That's what we need. Go ahead, Volcano.
so the next topic here, someone threw in there there's no electricity. I just talked to someone tonight who said for 2 months now, since they started changing the light poles, there has been no electricity. And we're talking in Monrovia. Monrovia, I ain't saying the
You
interior
even say
on the highway or
in
anything.
Lofa,
We
Ubapolo,
say
and other
in
places.
Monrovia. Right now, Monrovia, in many spots are in pitch black dark. The only
Wow.
thing is people generator, and you see government officials with a high fence, and the people they hear the choreo, but they can't see it. You got to go. You can hear choreo
You
by
just
the
hear the
generator.
generator sound.
Yeah. So the guy told me, he said, I can just hear the choreo. I know you can hear choreo, but I caught a joke. He said, I
The
can just hear
generator
the choreo,
sound.
but I can't see it
Yeah.
because you know. So the LEC, the Liberia Electricity Corporation, as we all know, is a public utility entity that was created in 1973 um, by the government of Liberia through an act of legislation with a mandate to produce and supply economic and reliable electric power to the entire nation, while at the same time maintaining the corporation financial upkeep.
Mhm.
In 2017, as part of the Liberia Energy Sector Reform Project, a management service contract, the MSC, was tendered for the transfer of LEC management to international parties, with ESB International, an Irish based company, assuming management control of the corporation in
Mhm.
January of 2018.
Right.
With everything that has been done, we don't know where we are right now.
Yeah.
LEC, as we all know, is unable to meet the statutory responsibilities with efficiency. Frequent power outage and shedding. Corporation has become a national disgrace and an embarrassment to the Liberian nation. Technical services such as purchase of meters, Light poles and transformers are not delivered in timely manners.
Mhm.
Poor or inefficient customer service. These are the things that are uh,
Haunting.
trending at the Liberia Electricity Corporation. LEC will come and put one, what they call it,
A light
transformer
bulb
here, and then the overloaded transformer with the whole community, and then the transformer pops,
goes bad.
and that's it. People, they pass law, they say people shouldn't steal current. The people say they're ready to pay, but since they came and they took some wires, they took some stuff down, they have not been able to deliver. Why is LEC still LEC, Moses?
Yeah. When Mr. Salif led Liberia, her administration invested, I am told, 300 million United States dollars in the upgrade of the hydro plant in Mount Coffee. The purpose of that, because during the dry season, the water temperature, decreases, or the water level decreases. As a result, that it makes it difficult for the diesel in a generator to function effectively. So Ellen then did that, invested the money into the plan with the hope that that problem would be resolved. But even as we speak right now, Volcano, the corporation is still finding significant challenges in keeping up with that. Whenever the dry season comes, LEC finds it difficult to function effectively. Now, with that problem compounded with power theft, and the power theft we're talking about, yeah, it's not only what limited to ordinary people.
You seen LEC man and giving current on the side?
You have government ministries, you have public officials, you have cabinet ministers that are all what? Stealing lights. Stealing electricity, power theft. Nobody pays any bill. This became so frustrating that in recent year, uh, an ambassador at the U.S. embassy, publicly, frown on power theft in Liberia. And Volcano, the report out there shows that what 50% of electricity generated by LEC goes to what power theft. This is a serious problem. As a result of this, the corporation has become what ineffective, a national disgrace.
And Moses, let me just say this. How
Yeah,
many rivers do we have in Liberia? You got a Kavala, that's
yeah.
electricity. You
Hmm.
got a St. John, that's electricity.
Hmm.
You got a Mount Coffee, St. Paul,
Planet,
that's
yeah.
electricity. You got a Mano River, that's electricity. You got a Lofa River, that's electricity. You got a
Mhm.
Via River, that's electricity. And you got some other massive rivers. What's wrong with us? Why do we miss out the misappropriation or applying our funds to the sources where they should go? Do you know what would happen for Liberia if we had fluent electricity, consistent electricity all over the country?
Of course.
Do you know
There are a
what that
lot
would
of
do for that
th-
country?
there are
The
a lot of good things.
industrialization,
There are a
the
lot of good
economic
things.
advancement,
Economic investment, businesses will what grow.
and it's not just this whole old-fashioned hydro plant. We got good wind in the country. We can use turbines. We can use solar panel. We can create all kinds. We can use all kinds of energy source. But the government has to mean it. And if the government doesn't mean it because it's so corrupt, then it's difficult. What the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy, if they still got the same name? What is it? What?
What is
Yeah.
the ministry doing?
So you just sit down and depend and fold your hand and say LEC will get Curry? Or the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy has a stake in this matter?
But Volcano, where all the international support the country is receiving, what is happening with those resources? And again, this is what we're talking about earlier. You have technicians, you have employees of LEC that they themselves are contributing to this problem. They go into the community instead of what working in the interest of the corporation, they are working against the interest of the corporation. They receive bribes. They are involved with power theft. That's what research shows. The LEC employees themselves are involved with power theft. I am told, in fact, Volcano, you can speak to that better. You go to LEC, you say you want a meter. They tell you, say, hey, this is what it's going to cost you. You make your payment. It take you months to get a meter.
My man, that don't mean you telling. I go to Liberia every year. I am a testimony.
Okay.
Okay?
Share your
I have
thoughts.
testimonies.
Share
Mornings.
your thoughts. Yeah.
I wanted to put electricity on GSA Road.
Yeah.
The people say, well, what you going to LEC for? They just called. The man came, they brought a stick light pole, they brought a wire. Before I look current on.
See
And I'm
that?
like, well,
How
is
did this
this
happen?
is this LEC? The man said that LEC, you can see the meter, and you put the meter in.
Yeah.
But you gotta buy the scratch card.
Okay. You see that?
So when you buy the scratch card, I think the scratch card comes from South Africa or something, and you put it in.
Okay.
Then whatever the case, so you put your number in.
Yeah.
Before you make up your mama, man, the current finish.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, the current finish.
how
Because
long
you
does it
better got
last?
anything on, so you got to ration the current in a way. So that's what made some people got vexed because I don't know how they did it. They did it in a way so that people could keep buying
Keep buying. Yeah.
electricity.
You have
So
to
some
keep
because
charging,
like real
right?
man guy una smart too, and he's smart at corruption and a crook. So the men started doing things and they just bypassed the whole meter and the meter process. So people just started having electricity.
See
And then
that?
LEC was not generating money because the very people who
It's
doing these
supposed to.
things,
They
you
work
know,
for the very
are
corporation.
impeding the progress of
Yeah.
LEC.
Mm-hmm.
Are impeding the progress of LEC.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem here is LEC itself. You know, when you think about it, LEC itself. So some of the consequences as a result of all of this is that the country is in serious darkness.
Okay.
Serious darkness. I just say on Tuesday's show, thank goodness President Weah was able to complete
The
the
executive
executive
mansion.
mansion to move
Mm-hmm.
back in there. But is the executive mansion going to run on generator? Or the executive mansion should be run on a national
Power.
constant flow of electricity?
Mm-hmm.
Constant flow of electricity.
Of
Is
course.
the national airport going to be going in the dark for a plane to reroute? What if that plane only had a little bit of fuel and it
That
was
would have been
compulsory
that would have been a
for that plane
national
to land?
disaster. Look at what happened recently, which we talked about it last week. The situation with Air Murad.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. What if Air Morocco only had gasoline or fuel, rather,
Yeah.
to put that plane down at RIA and refuel, and the place is dark? They had to
That would have,
reroute.
that would have been a national disaster.
But all the money they're collecting over there, all the money they're collecting for COVID shouldn't just go to COVID because it is the airport the reason
Yeah,
why they're
to run
collecting the
yeah, to
money.
run the
So some of
airport,
that
yeah.
percentage supposed to go to the upkeep of the airport because
Airport,
up
yeah.
to now we don't even know. There's no accountability for this COVID money they've been collecting since COVID.
Yeah.
Let somebody show it to me. Was it in this gone budget? Was this in the budget proposed? Was there any
No,
line item that talked about income expenses
from
that
the
have to do with COVID?
from no. But even the lawmakers have raised concern about what is happening to the money being generated at the airport for COVID testing. No one knows.
But that's the incoming money now. But let's go to
Yeah.
the outgoing money, meaning when you're ready to leave and
No, but
you go
yeah,
into
you do that when you
I'm
enter.
coming.
I am
I'm
told when you
coming.
enter, you
No,
pay,
I
right?
am told. I travel to the place. What I'm saying is when you land
Mm.
in,
Yeah,
you pay the money at the airport. So that money at the airport
yeah.
portion should go to help with the upkeep of the airport. Because
Okay.
had it not been the airport, they won't be able to raise that money. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the money that when you leave in the country, that money is paid somewhere behind the surface air screen in Congo Town, the old surface air
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
That other money has another place to go. But the point I'm making here is where the money is
Where the
generated.
money goes, yeah.
Yes. So
That's
it's
the
a round
question.
trip. It's a round trip for each passenger, $150.
Yeah. And the lawmakers have
And we're
raised
not talking
concern about this
150
one.
Liberian dollars. We're
No,
talking
USD we're talking
150
about.
United States
USD.
dollars.
Hmm.
So multiply the number of passengers that go in and out of that country a year.
No, it's on a daily
No, no,
basis.
no. I'm just saying a year.
Okay.
I'm looking at the time that it was first put in place
Hmm.
to now.
Yeah. Since 2019.
My brother, I'm telling you, more than 10, 15, $20 million have been collected
Yeah.
with no accountability.
No accountability.
What kind
No
of
one
country is
knows.
this? The
No
people
one.
cannot account for anything?
No.
Nothing? So the
So,
situation undermines business and national development
of course it
because of the
does.
inadequate provision of electricity by LEC. Frequent power outage and shedding negatively affects businesses, particularly those people who have supermarkets with
Yeah.
perishable goods.
Gurus, yeah.
Thousands of dollars worth of unrefrigerated,
On refrigerator goods,
yeah,
right?
yeah, are often destroyed.
Destroy. Can you
You
imagine
can
for
put food in
Canada?
your house here for almost a whole year
My man.
and it's sustained.
In fact, you're
But over
talking
there,
about
the people can better use better
my man, the people have to cook every day.
every day.
If you don't do that, the food will rot. So you have to keep cooking every day. You can't store food. The food will spoil. You see the challenge it brings for the poor people and giving you know the situation in the country. You know it better than I do. But if this guy went out, he tried, he got $20 and to cook a very good meal today, at least they should be able to preserve some for tomorrow. But again, the man have to go look for another $20 tomorrow because he just cannot preserve his food. No electricity.
So, President, we have put on some street lights the last time. Everybody were jubilating. The beginning were leaving the community to come on the street light to study.
To
I'm telling
celebrate.
you, I'm not kidding you. Ask, please, any Liberian can confirm it tonight if I'm lying, that the kids had to leave their community to come to the street light on the
To
main
study
road
at night.
to
Yeah.
study at night because electricity was not reaching
To where
the
they,
neighborhood.
yeah. Oh my God.
But are those street lights functioning now?
I'm
Some of
not
them are
sure.
operating in pockets.
Mhm.
What wrong with Liberia?
Yeah.
Moses, what is wrong with Liberia?
I mean,
This
uh,
glorious land of liberty, this sweet Liberia that we said was sweet.
this situation is even with international aid, international group coming to manage the LEC, still the entity remains ineffective. Then what need to be done, Volcano?
But anybody say when you're fighting war, you can't take your troop and just throw it in the people town and think you're gonna win. Bro, the men already know how to turn the
I mean, the
LEC
people know the
down.
people know the system. Those boys are sitting down there and they're making executive decisions. When the boys go in the field, they do their own thing.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about some of the recommendations before we open the lines here.
Yeah,
One of the recommendations that government must invest in LEC through sustained technical and monetary support. Put good
absolutely.
money in the budget for LEC.
Mhm.
Make power theft a serious crime by harshly punishing thieves. And of course, they said it. So
I
that's why a
agree.
lot of people have turned into committing to, pay for
Fighting power
electricity.
theory. Yeah,
But unfortunately, they're not providing the electricity.
yeah.
That's what we're talking about. When you
That's
go down that road to say that, listen, if we catch you stealing electricity, this is what we're going to do. Here's the electricity, pay for it. But when we catch you stealing electricity, this is what we're going to do. Get all the money so we can bring your wire, get all the money so we can bring your lead pole. Then you don't come back again. 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Nobody come back to reassure the people that because of the COVID, because of the pandemic, there's a delay in shipment. But we're still working with our partners to get,
Mhm.
nobody goes back. No conscientization, no public awareness, no follow-up, no redress.
But
This is
in
why
fact,
people tend to not have any chance
yeah, the
of
people have
getting
no trust in
things.
the system.
Yeah.
The people have no trust because you call LEC customer service. They have no clue they themselves in terms of what is happening. So they don't even give you the kind of information that you need. So then what happened? The people become what? Frustrated, you
So
know?
then when they go and take one lepo and put it there for this government official,
Yeah.
and hang a transformer on it, everybody join the transformer, and then the whole thing blast, bam.
Af-
Then
After 1 or 2 weeks, everything go to zero, right?
yeah, you know. So when you give electricity, I mean when you rather not in a position to provide electricity, you gotta give justifiable reasons why there's delay,
Yeah,
and let the
what
people
is
be
it?
reassured. But
Hmm.
instead, people just go and just leave everything. So I mean that's one of the recommendations.
Yeah,
Corporation must also improve on the customer service, like you talked about.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I think that this is very important, Moses.
Mm.
Rebrand LEC into a private company, strictly for profit making with no government's influence and subsidy.
That would
Let
be
government
great.
hand comes out of LEC.
Let government hand comes out. If we have private individuals or businesses that want to take on this, let them invest into this to save the country, man, because this has become a serious embarrassment.
Listen to this other one. Everyone should pay for energy if they want it, with no exception, irrespective rather of your
Yeah,
status.
yeah, I
President, we
agree.
are want electricity from this new branding corporation that has no governmental influence must pay for his electricity. If I want
Well,
it, I should pay for it.
no, at the level, I think at the level of the presidency, there's some,
Amen. Amen.
privileges there.
Amen. What I'm saying here is,
Yeah.
President, we are private house.
Oh,
He
okay.
has to pay for his
Yeah.
electricity.
Yeah, he
The
has to.
government will ensure that the executive manager has electricity, and
Yeah.
whether they're paying for it through this new rebranded LEC that has no influence from the government, right?
Hmm.
Then that can be an arrangement. But if President, we are private house in rehab,
On 9th Street.
yeah, he should pay
Yeah.
for his own electricity.
Yeah,
It
I
shouldn't be
agree.
given to him free.
I agree.
So that's the only way LEC can bounce back.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
hold
only
people
way.
accountable. Hold people accountable. If you have employees that are undermining the process, those people should be prosecuted.
Terminated, prosecuted, and
Yeah.
lock up.
Hmm. That's what we need in our country, Volcano. Law enforcement, rule of law, hold people accountable, and that is not happening.
Well, if you just joining us, this is the Issues Room. The Issues Room is the alternative media platform here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, the Issues Room page. And also, our broadcast is carried live as a repeat in Monrovia on the Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation radio station. That's FM 105.1. We want to thank Joe and Michael Toll out there in Monrovia for carrying our broadcast. We hope that other, you know, radio stations, once we can make contact, will do same. We have begun receiving application to have local correspondence, to keep us updated on issues in the country. And it's good to have first-hand information, Moses. So
Mhm.
we'll be looking through some of those applications in the coming
Sure.
days to
Yeah.
see who we can, who will be linked to
Yeah, we
us.
can recruit. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can bring them through to join us here sometimes
Okay.
with updates. We
Okay.
want to encourage all of you, our viewers. Thomas Awaji, thank you so much for all you do for the Issues Room. James Davis, good to have you back here tonight. Benna O'Connor, my brother, thank you for coming through. We want to also welcome Andrew Destiny Favor Dolo, Boyman Sally, thank you for coming through tonight. Um, Let me run down through this list quickly. Florence Kinsley, James Coyen, one of our discussants. It's good to have you tonight. Uh, I'm trying to run through this quickly. Moses Royer
Yeah,
Smith,
sure. Yeah, do that.
Photonic Vincent, my brother. Uh, Good evening. Welcome to the Issues Room. My man, Diaha Idongiset Umo. I hope I got it right. Welcome. Kawu Gloria Voka Mobile, Victor Logan, and Hamilton Zili. Continue to share the page, share the link, invite a friend, let people know about the Issues Room. We're here. Flomo Livingstone, welcome to the house. Our broadcast is Tuesdays and Fridays. And quickly, let me just put it out there that this coming Tuesday, we will not be broadcasting. We want to do some technical improvements. So we'll not be broadcasting this coming Tuesday, which is the 1st of March. We have to do what we call maintenance of our studio and all of that. So
They do
please,
some
please, please,
technical work. Yeah.
there will be no broadcast on Tuesday, the 1st of March. Um, Moses, another issue here
Yeah.
is the Liberian Marketing Association.
Okay.
Before I go to that, quickly, I want to say here's the number you can call. The topics. The first topic had to do with the lawmakers and public officials who are overextending themselves to be philanthropists and give out cash goods and kind, and we don't know where those monies and resources are coming from.
Coming from. Yeah.
Um, and they are not disclosing where they're coming from, but they want to be seen in the public eye as the man is good.
Yeah.
So you can call on that topic. We can refer to it, and we just discussed the LEC. So the lines are now open 404-272-2808. And interestingly, some folks see the number right there and they say, "Where's the number?" And the number is posted and stable, but they still
Yeah.
ask for the number.
Still
So
answer it.
it's 404-272-2808. If it's just Johnny, Volcano, Shelton, Moses, Sandy together here. The next and final topic here is the Liberia Marketing Association, Moses.
Yeah.
The Liberia Marketing Association was established to, be the umbrella organization for marketers around the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the government does its best, and some of these leaders know that it is important for the people to have a place to sell.
Yeah.
So they go ahead and they build market grounds. President Doe was one of the persons who really built some markets, but even President Tauber built Rally Town Market and built some
Mm-hmm.
market. And
Yeah.
so market building is a part of government, give back to marketeers to make sure that they have a place safe from under the rain to sell and to look decent.
Yeah.
So the government does these things, build markets, put them in places where it would be better, uh, to alleviate traffic congestion, to alleviate filths from in the streets, to alleviate petty crimes from all in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the people don't want to go in these markets.
Yeah.
The regional market at Omega, they had to literally beat the people.
And they are still finding it difficult
They still
to
finding it
move there.
difficult, my
Yeah.
brother. So my question here is, what the hell is the Liberia Marketing Association doing in consonant and support to the Liberian government? Are they just there going from table to table collecting the market fee from these people, putting it in the pockets and not doing anything to help? Because the institutions should have rules and regulations. The
Yeah.
institutions should have bylaws and constitutions. Its members should follow those regulations and those
Mm-hmm.
policies by so the government doesn't even have to come beat people, Moses.
No.
If the organization is viable, take for instance Aja.
Yeah.
Aja has a constitution. We all have to go and abide by it.
But yeah, what the
Many other
Constitution says.
organizations in
Yeah.
the world.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the marketing association doing to help hold accountable its members who are marketers, and those who are not members, get them to join and hold them accountable? Otherwise, they don't sell in the market.
Yeah. A very good question. Volcano, we have a systemic problem in our country when it
And
comes to
everything about our country is just
everything.
copy, my man.
It affects
Everything.
everything. Because what we're talking about here, right? The government say, hey, relocate to Omega. You have a structure called the Liberia Marketing Association that's supposed to support government in ensuring that these people get off the street and move over there. Now, the very LMA, the very LMA, I will surmise, you have officials of the LMA that they themselves are even working against the very policy that they try to enforce. Because if Volcano Shelton knows
Let
a
me just tell. Let
particular,
me just tell
yeah,
the caller.
yeah, take
Caller,
that call,
before
yeah.
I'll come to you, caller. I will come to you. Let Moses make his point quick. I'll come
Mhm.
to you from
Yeah.
7845. Go ahead.
So the point I'm trying to make here is that first, let me say this: whenever change comes, most people find it difficult adapting to change, and that's what we have happening at the rail line. People say, oh, well, all the people come, this is where they were started. Look, once you put a structure in place and enforce the laws, people will comply. Volcano, you and I, yeah, if we want to buy, what do we do? Don't we go to the mall? If we want to shop for stuff, we go to the mall.
So just
Do
hold
we
your
have?
thought. Let's hear from this guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
The caller, welcome to the show. Your name?
Yeah, this is James. They're recording from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Welcome, James.
Welcome,
Yeah,
James.
let me just start with the AEC. The AEC for me, I still get my registration paper. I registered the AEC 2017. Up to now, they haven't given me my meter.
Hold on, James. Hold on, James. Let me put this caller in queue. The caller from a 6377 number. Just hold. I'll come back to you. The caller just called. I'll come back to you. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, then for AEC, you go in, they will talk about go register for meter, go to AEC for meter. I registered 2017. Up to now, I still get my receipt. They haven't given me one meter. Up to now.
Mm-hmm.
And give meter, but there's a system there where you can bypass to buy meter.
So you go there, you go to LEC, but then you bypass the system.
Yeah, you gotta bypass the system. They don't want you to go straight because that money running to somebody else's pocket too.
Like we're in a useless place, man.
Yeah, so how will the people? You get everybody meter in Liberia now. You tell meter, everybody will be straight. But the one of the major problems here is they have people in AC that now work for long. They retire, a lot of them. They're not paying them good. They don't do the thing good. So the people they're helping the community to see they know how to do the work.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
He retired, the people can't pay them. So what is it the people will survive from? That's one of the major things that going on in AEC. The community is ready to pay, but they don't want to do the people work.
Yeah.
Then they'll go to the always just talking about the marketer. The market building myself, I want to go do registration in the market building. The small shop where they see where even 2 person get for inside, where they get to the business. So they have to register. It's not free. But the government is giving different sign out there. You go there, you can't see the reality. The market store in the business, some of them called 9,000, 8,000, 7,000. Most of the people don't get the money.
And you're talking Liberian dollars.
Yeah, you said US or Liberian dollars.
Okay. And it's a one-time registration, then you own a table for a lifetime, or then you be paying monthly fee.
But if you do the conversion, right, Volcano, if someone look, people have to take some responsibility too. If you convert 9,000,
government come out and say $50. Then the people be aware.
If you convert,
the market free, then the people go there not free.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Then the government come out. They say we must shake Liberia. Just are saying different things when you go to the port for all the pay our continue, we got to pay CTMP. And that CTMP not pay AIR, can collect your money. You got to pay a different account, and not going AIR account. You will pay you get a receipt to AIR before they bill you. You not get it, forget it. Your country not going to go into storage.
All right, James. Let me bring the other caller in.
Just for the last one, the public area.
Okay.
The public official.
All right.
Those people are causing noise in the capital building. Most of the things are happening. The mercenary look at you, Uganda port. Under the ring, under the deal, collecting $346 million, they paying $160 US. Tell me now. Then the man that kind of cost money for a few hours, you're paying 13,000, some more thousand. So tell why we're not doing corruption in Nigeria? How the man will collect the revenue? He didn't pay 150, the man are not collecting revenue throughout the day. The man sit down there, you collect $2-3 million a month. Then you're paying 150. Then the man are not doing nothing, you're paying more money. If you have big car, you get different.
Yeah.
So not be just. It's not the police. I was just going to call the police. Police say not going because somebody said, man, I have raised my life to go there to know.
Okay. Let me bring the other man. Thank you, my man.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. The caller from 6377. Welcome. Your name? Hello, caller from 6377. Caller, are you there? Okay. Apparently the caller left. He's still in queue, but I don't know why. My call back. Call back, okay? Because yeah, so Moses, where were we?
Yeah, I was
He's
talking
calling back.
about the
Calling
whole
back. He's
issue
calling
of
back. He's
change.
calling back.
Okay, okay, okay.
Call, caller, are you there now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Um, can
Yeah,
you?
how are you, Mr. Shelton?
Good, good. Could you just find a better location? Because I know I'm hearing some noise and probably a kid in the background.
Okay. Yeah, how are you, sir? I'm your
We're good.
brother, Boy Sally from Liberia,
Thank
normally
you.
called Opa Sally.
Thank you.
Good.
How you
Welcome,
doing?
Yes.
sir.
And I just want to find out from you all, because as Liberians, we
Hmm.
always, hello?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we're
We can
listening
hear
to
you.
you.
Yeah, we always talk about the problem, but the solution and the root cause of our problem, we don't bring it to focus and focus on it and lay down our agendas. What is our plan as Liberia? What is the meaning of the country Liberia to each and every one of us? Then we can find a plan to move on as a people. 25-year plan, 50 years plan. What is our plan right now as a country and as a nation? What do you think?
Is that my question?
Yes, I'm putting it out there for us to talk about, because we were talking about all the corruptions
Okay.
and all
So if you listen tonight, we made some recommendations for
We
every
may
bullet
recommend.
or every segment we talked about. But again, I'm not the president of Liberia. I'm not the government of Liberia. So if I were to make a plan, my plan would be personal to me. I can't make a plan for the government if I'm not a part of the government, or for the country rather if I'm not a part of the country. We can make proposals. We can put
And
forth
that's what we are
what we
doing.
think that the government should do, and I'm sure that President Weah had a 6-year plan and potentially a 12-year plan because he's confident that he will be a 12-year president. What will he do, or what he does within those 12 years will speak uh, whether his planned activities were accomplished or whether they were not accomplished. So again, if you think that there's a need to have a formation of an organization that can devise strategic plans for Liberia, then I'm willing to be a part of it. Moses is willing to be a part of it. But the problem here is that when we put our sweat, blood, and tears into a formulation of strategic plans for the country, say 10 years, 25 years, as you've asked, will government be generous enough to utilize those plans if it's contrary to their personal agenda? And the agenda of the Liberian government over time has to do with malfeasance, taking the public money, building big houses, enjoying themselves. And how many of those you know things that they say they would do that they've done? So this is where it must begin. So I think it's a good idea, but from my perspective, good, well-meaning Liberians need to come together to do this, and then see if we can make that suggestion to whatever government in power, and hope that they will listen.
But look, quickly, let me just say something on that. He talks about plan, and he was following the broadcast from the onset. We have provided a number of plans. What we want to see is a wholesome society, a functioning society. And that's why we say, hey, we do not need lawmakers taking on the role of what? The government. Undertaking projects that they do not have the means of sustaining. We want the system to work for us. We have identified the problem that people are overextending themselves, and that is creating more problem for Liberia. What we want the healthcare system to work by itself. We want the educational system to be funded and supported to meet the needs of the people. We want our political leaders to create jobs for us instead of turning our people into beggars. So all of these are plans. All of these are suggestions for a functioning Liberia, a viable Liberia. So I don't understand when he talks about what is the plan, what do we want?
But that's why I'm coming to
Yeah,
him now. So what would
yeah.
be your thought? I give you my
Yeah,
I give you my 2 cents.
okay, yeah, you're right. I got your sense on that. For example, road. What our 25-year plan for roads in the country? What our 25-year plan for education or health? Like you said, we have hospitals and people are dying on the outside. People are selling medications on the sidewalk, in the heat. What are the plans for the country to improve the healthcare system, education system, or road system? What are what 25-year or 50-year plan? That's what I'm trying to say. If we are in the diaspora, we can put those things together or talk about those things and focus only on those things for even 5 years. Just talk about those things and drill it down. At least it can make some echo, or it will sound somehow to the people in Liberia or to the government. If we keep talking about roads over and over and over and over, we will drill it down for somebody to hear about the roads.
And that's why you have the issues room here.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we're not just your ordinary media platform. That is why we do research. We put extra time into what we do, and we want to make sense when we come across.
Right.
So that's why we encourage people like you to come in and have your own point to put forth. So
Yeah.
you just ask questions, but I'm sure that the Liberian government does have plans. Are they implementing those plans? Are they implementing those plans to the letter? Are they utilizing the monies that they put aside for specific projects the way it should, or it is being sliced here and there to do other things that are not beneficial to the people? But you can see those not beneficial things when a one man have five, 6, 7 houses. When another man say, "Oh my man, I ain't government, but I got my 10 building there on rent." When the other man say, "My man, I got my used car business." When the other man, when people are only personalizing their interests rather than nationalizing their interests. You heard what I said? I want to repeat myself.
Yeah, yes,
When
I
you
got
have
you.
when you have government officials who are personalizing their interest rather than nationalizing their interest, which means for the country, that patriot interest is not happening.
And that's the biggest
You can
problem
take
that we have.
you can take a cow to the river to drink, but you can't force it. So we will keep talking. We will keep talking. So this is part of the process. Boyma, this is part of the process.
Yes, I see now that I think we kind of narrowing down our major problem in Liberia and Africa as a whole. I think corruption is our major problem. Like,
Absolutely. That's the key.
we will
That's the
find a
key
way, like
problem.
you said,
Yeah.
we'll keep talking, and perhaps one day we'll find the right set of people to put in the right things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
We
much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks for
You're
calling.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Moses,
so back to the
go ahead.
issue of the market, right?
Yeah.
I
the
was
whole
saying
world.
that or someone is calling.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was basically saying that when change comes, some people are always resistant to change, and that's what we are faced with right now. So you have people who believe that, hey, by relocating to Omega, they won't be able to sell. So they are doing everything to beat the system. And then what is happening? The very LMA, you got people who are closer to the authority that are telling other people, say, look, my man, you can be here. I will talk to the police, they will not bother you. And then you have police officers, because the system is so dishonest. They go to enforce the laws of the country, and someone bribes them. Someone gave them money, they look the other way. The government is saying, say, we don't want to see nobody here selling. And you still have few people selling there because what? They are already bribed their way. When these kinds of things are happening, it makes it difficult to enforce any law. That's the biggest problem we have.
But not only that, look at some of the consequences as a result of these people everywhere.
Yeah.
That huge traffic congestion. You know what bothers me?
No.
The people leave the market building and come on the road
Yeah.
and narrow the byways and highways. No fear for life and danger
Nobody
to their
cares.
own well-being. They will come on the sidewalk and take over the whole sidewalk. Then you, the pedestrian, have to walk
Also,
on the
the main
asphalt.
road, yeah. Can
On
you
the
imagine
asphalt.
that?
To the point that they will come on the asphalt and then push you into the lane
Yeah, no
as the
control.
pedestrian. What
No
type of
control.
country is this?
Yeah,
But then
no
you got a
control.
policeman. He's just passing around. He ain't care. He's
Yeah,
just looking
my
for his
man. Yeah,
pocket. He
yeah.
pass.
That's it.
But don't stop there, Moses. They will create diet. And then they'll take the dirt and put it in the very drainage. The new
Mhm.
road they built from the red light to Freeport,
Hmm.
nothing but debris. How
Yeah.
can you literally take your dirt and throw it in
Yeah,
the
put it. Yeah,
drainage
illiteracy.
to the
Mhm.
pack to the point that you filled the drainage, and then the water backs up and creates flooding, and then you ask questions and you say going like you.
And Volcano, now to cut you out, just to piggyback on what you're saying, that is where now the government should hold what the LMA accountable on. Because the LMA collect what fees from these marketers on a daily basis. If they are collecting garbage collection fees or if they are collecting fees for selling, then it becomes imperative that they themselves ensure that the markets are clean, ensure that the trash removed.
So right here in
You know?
America,
Yeah.
and usually I don't like to make the comparison because it's never the same,
Mhm.
but we can adapt the system, right?
Of course, yeah.
We have the waste management that come and collect our garbage.
Mhm.
However, I don't pay the waste management directly in my mortgage,
Yeah.
right? I
Mhm.
have what I call hazard waste.
Yeah.
That bill comes every year and is due by the end of May.
Yeah, you
By the
pay
end
that.
of May,
Mhm.
I pay that money. I send it to the county, right?
Yeah.
Whatever goes to the county, the rest go to waste management. Waste management is a private business. I
They
don't have
handle
to deal
that.
with them. So
No.
let's start here now. You have the Painesville City Corporation. You have the Liberia Marketing Association. You have the
The
National
police.
Police.
Yeah.
And I say to you honestly,
Mhm.
Painesville, as the biggest city in the country, but the second to
They
Monrovia,
should have
should
their
have
own
its
police.
own functioning police
Police. Yeah.
force.
Yeah. Mhm.
They have the resources. They have the population. And I don't know how to make these people in mayors and stuff. You can see what they're doing. They just got
They just
title.
sit down, my man, feel just sit down there and walk around.
No mind, no thinking. They're not thinking. They're not thinking. I mean, they're not even forming relationship. Like come to America. They come here to say, okay, let me come go to one of these communities. Let's say,
And see
Newcastle. Sit with a
how
governor and say, listen,
how
I'm the mayor
Newcastle
of
is
Queensville.
functioning. Yeah. Mm,
I want to
yeah.
have a relationship with you,
Yeah.
and I want to understand how you guys function and how you
Yeah.
generate. They don't do it. But they come to America, they're all on Facebook. Hey, hey, hey. Then the feed did not arrive. You come to America and waste time here,
Yeah.
go to the mall shopping and go back to Liberia, empty with your skull, the same way you brought your skull, you carry it back.
Yeah.
You don't come here to learn anything and go to impact it. I'll
Yeah.
tell you one story.
Mhm.
You remember when we were on the radio?
Yeah.
The opportunity I had to come to America for radio and television training.
Hmm.
I couldn't wait to go back. I
Because you
couldn't
wanted
wait
to
to go
go
back
and
to
implement,
showcase.
yeah, what you have learned. Yeah.
And Moses, you saw the change.
Of
You
course.
were right
Yeah.
there. We worked together. You
Yeah.
saw when I returned to Liberia.
It was, man, radio was good, man.
It was a it was a
It was,
different me.
it was good. Yeah.
But how can you come here? You go back to the same chair you sit on. But man, how much that lonely man send? Then you rubbing your feet, and the man can he report to you.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
That's it.
So you got these functional institutions, the
Yeah.
LMA, the
Yeah.
National Police, the City
They're
Corporation,
supposed to work together.
okay,
Work
the
together.
community leaders, because
Mhm.
that's the new thing now in the community leaders. Bring these people together where this market is located
Yeah.
and have your meetings and devise strategy to keep the place clean.
Yes. And pay
So
people to
you,
do it
yeah,
regularly.
yeah. To utilize
Mhm.
the resources that people are paying in terms of their fees,
Yeah. Pay those
rather than
people.
for them to just leave the place dirty. And then Maria City Corporation should leave from its uno local.
Yeah, they
The
come
guy
and
running
wrong.
from Carey Street to Broad Street. They cleaning that one, but they coming to Painesville Red Light to
Yes,
say
they
they
do
coming to
clean
get
it. Yeah.
clean.
They
Let's take
do
our
clean.
man River says real quick. Because we're
Yeah.
going to be wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
River says, bro.
Hey, Volcano, how you doing? How you doing, Moses?
My man, we okay, man.
Good, real
We're
what's up, my
trying to
man?
wrap up.
Welcome to the
So,
issues room.
it's always good to have you in here, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. You know, they can hear myself If he can just be trying to make more time, we're supposed to come on break. Then he won't finish the job before. Yeah, man.
But
I've
man,
been missing the program all
my
the
man,
time.
my man,
And my
that's
man is
exactly.
understandable, Rosa. You
Yeah.
got bills to pay.
Yeah, but that the market business of Volcano Moses, I think Liberian find it very difficult to adapt to modernization. That's what I think. Because look, I live in Ivory Coast, Darane, and I went to Abidjan. I live in Guinea, one of the biggest market in West Africa, Medina market. It's so organized, Volcano.
My
When they
man.
say jeans, the whole area that jeans. When they say shack, the whole like almost like one block is a shack. But when they try to put the people in the market for kind of, they don't want to sit down in the market. They prefer coming outside the
They want
sun
to
on the
bring the thing to
sidewalk.
your door.
Yeah.
Even
Why, Volcano? Please tell me why is going on? Why we travel to other countries, we see the organization in the people. We want to introduce it back to our people. They don't want to do it. What is going on? Is it just a mentality, or is it hereditary that we just
You
don't
know,
follow?
we just don't have a system. We don't have a
let
system
me
and
tell
we
you
don't
something.
hold people accountable.
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
affecting of institution, I would say because of my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
if people are putting in specific roles for accountability purpose, then the accountability piece starts with those people and
Mm-hmm.
the people that they have under them to hold them accountable for
Yeah.
implementation.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, nothing will get done, and
Sure.
it's systemic. It's everywhere in any institution. It wouldn't take it. I mean, there's very seldom you will find institutions where people are very accountable to themselves, their character, their dignity, their commitment, their discipline, that they would take initiative. In institutional growth, we have what we call taking initiative. And when people don't take initiative, then of course everything is stagnant.
That's
So
true.
when I'm looking for a person to hire or to work with, I look for a person who will take initiative because everything cannot be taught to you. You have to
Sure.
go to find knowledge. You have to go to find, good way of living, good character.
Sure.
All those things are very important. And unfortunately, the very people that leave this country with the mindset that they will go and make a change, they don't do it. And I don't know that the sumu they can rub on there. I don't know, and everything just changed,
I'm telling
you
you,
know.
man.
But my brother, if you really want to change things, you can change things. You can change things, and the people don't have to be whipped or beat up. That's why I'm saying the marketing association has a major part
Yeah.
to
Need
play.
to hold it
They,
accountable.
they,
Yeah.
the whole process of ensuring that the people are in the market begins with the LMA,
Let me.
Yeah.
implemented through the city corporation, the
National
police
police.
department,
Mhm.
and the communities themselves, as I said, communities leaders and the
Yeah.
stakeholders in the community.
It
Those
has to
are
be
the
a team
institutions
effort.
and people who are responsible to ensure that people stay in the market.
I
Let
agree.
let enforcement come at the end of everything.
Yeah. Whole
Mhm.
series of discussion. Make sure that you are holding people accountable. If you say, look, man, you just can't sell here on the Sunday, that's the law. The
But
law
man,
is the law.
Moses,
Yeah.
we run out of time. But let me quickly
Yeah.
school
The people can
Roses,
bribe
bro.
the people.
Roses, bro.
Yeah.
You grew up to Town, right?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
do.
Dothan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
begin. But I
Okay.
Yeah.
had a little bit of Tower time into
Mhm.
Dothan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trouble
But
and do
I'll
that
tell
also.
you, we never had this kind of situation. People stayed in the market. You can just put without market anywhere. You can just jump anywhere in the people neighborhood. You just jump out and say you're going to build something. It's not possible.
The people
You can
have
just play
control, my
loud
man.
music. You can
Yeah, they
just do
have
those
control.
things. We had
Yeah.
systems in place. But
Yeah.
when
I,
the
I was
country,
born in the turbo era, but grew up,
yeah,
started knowing
yeah.
myself. Yeah, in the
But
do.
but
Yeah.
you see, when the country
Yeah.
falls in the wrong hands and people don't care, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Liberia
But
was
so,
once a place where all of these things
yeah.
we're talking about
Uh-huh.
existed. And we blame
Mhm.
everything on this one Babati civil war that took place 14 years
I'm telling
ago.
you, man. Yeah.
Other countries has bad civil war. Look at the advancement they've made. And every
Yeah.
day
Look
we
at
give it,
Rwanda, they had
yeah,
genocide, almost
you
1
know,
million people died. Look at the people country now. The people move on, but we're still talking about oh, Volcano,
oh
what
no,
is going
and a
on?
new excuse now that what they call it thingy,
The
COVID.
COVID. The COVID
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
The next one they will soon put it on Ukraine and Russia war.
Mm.
what, why we always find or instead of finding solution? I mean, you read for, I mean, before I leave, just imagine some people came from the United States here, right? These people being here. And guess what? The people took their markets from here. The same thing you say. There are people who know the system here. The woman just told me recently, she said, oh, all my market I carry, I wasted right on the floor. The people are buying.
But the rub the sumo.
Somebody that live in America is supposed to know the system. She said, I'm giving my boost to no like people myself. I left from America. I wasted all on the street. The people getting boy.
She went there on deal.
How the rumors live. That's how she, that's what she saw. So, you know, man, thank you for calling, man. We're wrapping up now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Bro.
Good girl. It's a pleasure having you.
That's our problem, Moses.
Yeah, our problem. Yeah, we don't hold people accountable. We don't enforce the laws of the country. You know, too much connections. You know, someone knows somebody. As a result, nothing happens. As soon as someone comes to enforces the law, they say, "Get a man phone. Let me talk to him." I mean, come on now. Is this how we're gonna rule?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these things, I mean, and I like when we come with this conversation because it just tells me that there's still hope.
Yeah, they are
There's still
educational.
hope.
The conversations are very educational, informative
in
as well.
honesty, it boils down to those people who are put in positions of trust.
Mhm.
The dedication, the patriotism, the loyalty to the country instead of personal aggrandizement is national aggrandizement.
Of course, so guys are
National
concerned
wealth.
about it's
National share the wealth. Share it.
yeah,
Share the
show
knowledge.
wealth. Yeah, show wealth, you know.
You know, share the glory. You can't be president and you win volleyball trophy, then you win basketball trophy,
Basketball
and now you
trophy.
karate fighter. No. Share the glory. Everything can be
You,
you. Share
you
the
got
glory.
black belt now, then you can call about say no, man. I got my own.
So Moses, that's it, man.
Yeah, man. Look, it was a good show. It was a pleasure being here,
And
and we look forward to coming back next
hopefully
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, hopefully Friday.
Yeah,
We
because
can have all
yeah.
our technical pieces together. So
Yeah,
thank you again for being there. Let me
sure.
let you go.
Uh-huh.
I'll wrap this up quick. Again, we want to thank all of you for coming through tonight. Our viewers, Ruben Harris, it was good having you in the house. Reverse Pro, never, you know, unfortunate. Once you make it through, we're happy to have you. James David, good comments. Boyman Saleh, Thomas Awaji, Florence Kinsley, Hamilton Zilli, and all you wonderful people. My good old friend Ben O'Connor, good to have you in the house. We'll be back here on Friday, God's willing. As I said, Tuesday there will be no broadcast due to some technical issues we have to take care of in our studios for maintenance purpose. Thought it was a good conversation. All right, we'll catch up with you again. Volcano Shelton here on behalf of Moses Sandy, the Issues Room crew. We say thank you for being there with us tonight. You have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you next Friday, God's willing.